Hey guys, it's Bethany Finch with American Made Home Solutions. Are you a real estate investor trying to figure out how to get ahead in this market? What should you do? What should you not do? Maybe what kind of pivots and what would they look like? Let me give you 3 main pivots that have made a big difference in making sure our real estate investing business continues on and does well in 2024. So one of the first things that has done us amazingly well through all these 27 years of experience in the real estate investing is being willing to think outside of the box. You see, everybody wants to put you in a box. Maybe it's a lender who wants to check all the boxes off to make their job easier. Maybe it's a buyer looking for a specific product type. Maybe it's a agent who only wants to do this much work and he knows what his software can do and he doesn't want to do any more. Everybody is trying to put everything else into a nice, neat little box so it fits in their world. But the problem is, if your box doesn't fit their scenario, well, then you're left outside and you're not able to accomplish the things that you're needing to accomplish. So one of the things that has served us so well is always being willing to think outside of the box. So with that, if you've got a flip that's sitting on the market maybe a little too long because rates are so high right now, have you thought outside of that box? Have you particularly looked at potentially getting other financing in place and doing an owner finance situation? Then you could actually take an NROC and a non-refundable option consideration and provide an opportunity for somebody to potentially come into a scenario that they couldn't have before, and then they can refinance you out when rates get to become better. But it gets them into a property now, it meets their needs, but it also meets your needs as well. Or maybe you actually already own the property, you own it free and clear, you're just trying to move some capital around. You could do the same thing, but also do it in a little bit of a smaller way, because maybe instead of getting a whole lump sum right now that you're going to have to pay capital gains on, you take a smaller portion of it now, do the owner finance option, and then turn around, redeploy that capital into another market. But also, again, now you've got monthly income coming in on a regular basis. And obviously, as the banks know, when they're the bank, they know they make far more money over the long term with the interest than they do on that initial points and things up front. So it's definitely a way to think. If you're trying to build a retirement account and your retirement account isn't getting there fast enough, it is a tremendous way to do that. So we're always trying to encourage folks who are trying to build retirement accounts to look at being a lien holder on property. Your property, it's backed by a hard asset. There's so much recourse on it that you have that you're able to mitigate risk. And it's kind of plug and play. You don't even have to think about it. You pull up an amortization schedule, you know exactly how much and when, and even at times when you want to get more, you could sell that note once you've already got that note. So there's lots of options when you think outside of the box. But to do so, you got to be kind of exposing yourself to some things. So let's talk about some of the second ways. Keep your real estate investment company going and going well and going strong, even in an economy like 2024. So the second way that you can keep your real estate investment company going well and going strong isn't always what people often think about. See, we're often thinking about, we got to make sure that our income is coming in so those rents are up where they need to be, and we've got to make sure that if they're executive rentals or short-term rentals, that the income is coming in, and we're marketing and advertising, and we're always thinking on the income side of it, but we're forgetting one big factor, the expense side of it. So taking the time annually to review things like your insurance policies, especially with this last year with rates going through the roofs, a lot of times you can actually get a new policy for less money with a new carrier, even in those states where some of the insurance rates have gone through the roofs, just because you can get in on a master policy, you can combine policies. So asking around and talking to new insurance agents, not necessarily the same one you've been always doing, but talking with ones outside, maybe an insurance broker who works with multiple carriers and is able to pool them, even if they're in different states, so that you can do a master policy and get better discounts. That's one way, but even more so, all the other expenses. For instance, if you're an executive rental, has your internet and cable bill gone up and through the roof? Well, you probably need to contact them and get on another program and get on a discounted plan, or maybe even get a group discount if you have multiple properties. The same is true for your regular service providers, whether it's cleaners, landscapers, handyman. You want to constantly be looking and constantly have a good inflow of new blood in there so that competition stays. We want to keep people, we want to train people, we want them to do well, but what happens is human nature, and we become lazy, and then they're not doing as good a job as they used to, and they're not watching their other team members, and now you're getting bad reviews, and now all of that costs you money. So everything from pest control to like I said, the landscaping and cleaning, all of those need to be reevaluated each year. But the other thing that also needs to be reevaluated expense-wise are you in the right market? Is that market still a good market? Should you still be using that same strategy? For instance, if you're in a market where you're using your rental arbitrages, it's time to move over and try to find a property that you want to purchase. Or is it time to pull out because maybe you have enough data now to make a good decision on that? So being willing to pivot and look at those different options is absolutely necessary, especially when sometimes it may be harder to gain that income and revenue, but you also need to look at it from the expense side. What can we cut and how can we cut that? And in doing it in a way that if you're reviewing it annually, you're running the leanest amount possible. You know those numbers, and you can also anticipate those numbers to change each year with inflation. So if you don't plan on your budget always staying stagnant, but actually increasing that a little bit, knowing expenses and things are going to go up as your properties get older. Some of the times we've actually completely shut down units that were rental arbitrages and moved them to a newer product for less money because there was more competition in that market. So we were able to save $100, $200, sometimes $300 a month, even on a rental arbitrage strategy, and get a better product. Yes, we got a moving fee, but we were able to quickly gain that back in just a couple months based on that. If it's a good, strong rental market, that's still something you want to take advantage of. You just want to be looking at not just the income side of it, but the expense side of it. Are there other ways and means that you can, if you step back and you look at things? Is there technology now that can do some of the work for you? So maybe you're not having to outsource to as many other people and cut some hours that way. There's always ways to make expenses get cut. Just doing it in a way that's productive and efficient is the way you want to keep going on that respect. Our third way that you can actually stay ahead and do well and thrive with your real estate investing business in 2024 isn't just cutting expenses, isn't just thinking outside the box. It's collaboration. Collaboration is huge because I know this is going to shock you, but different generations can teach others new things. So just like there's constant growth in technology, there's also some of the old tried and true methods need to be refreshed or updated. So if you're stuck in a rut and you're only doing the old thing that always worked, and you're not listening to the new generation that has some very good insight and tremendous tools with software and things like this, you're hurting your business. So collaboration is key. So you want to be out there networking, whether it's virtually in social media groups, whether it's in-person events or chat boards and things of that nature, but you want to be talking with other people in that space, whether it's single family flips, whether it's multifamily, whether it's executive rentals, it doesn't matter what it is, but you want to be networking and talking with others so that you guys can actually bounce things off of each other. Sometimes you can share resources. Maybe you're sharing cleaners. Maybe you're sharing software and technology. Maybe you come together to help build out a technology. We've worked together on that to help build out platforms. So collaboration really is a huge part of our business just because things are moving and growing, and sometimes the data in our market is different for the data in somebody else's market. And we want to make sure that they are able to give us good information and put it together with ours so that when that information comes through, we're able to make the best decision possible. When we stop and think about collaboration, oftentimes we forget the value and how important that can be. So if technology has grown and I now have an app or a platform or some kind of software technology that can reduce the working hours of an individual, well, that's 10 man hours that I can put towards something else. Now, I don't believe we should cut out every single man hour possible and put it all on software and technology. I am not of that mindset. But I do believe there is value there, and some things that are done repetitively and repeatedly can be done by technology more consistently with less error and literally be programmed to be done and running. So that's a huge efficiency that can be built into your business, as well as if your employees' stress levels are brought down because there's not so many tasks overwhelming them, they're able to think more creatively oftentimes and do their jobs that you really want them focused on better. So sometimes using the technology is a great tool, but sometimes you also need to understand there's a time and a place. So that's where the younger generation that wants to push technology into everything and the older generation who wants people involved can come together, and we can make that happen in a way that really grows our businesses in a successful and productive way, but also helps our team members to be at the top best happy level, so to speak, productivity wise. So collaboration is key, but there's huge value to that. So we want to make sure that when you're collaborating, that you see the value of it. My way isn't the best way. My way is just the way I'm doing it right now. Somebody else may have another way, and it may not be the best way, but if I take a little bit out of it and I implement it into my business, now I can create the best way. And what the best way is what's working in my business. And everybody's business is different. So we want you to be able to take advantage of it, but also to see the value. We all bring so much to the table, and there's so much room that we can grow from. And we want you to be able to take advantage of it just like we have. And collaboration is how we do that, through in-person events, through networking online and virtually, and conferences and all of the above, finding a way that we can connect with all levels, new and old, long-time business owners, short-time business owners, recognizing the value of each. So if you're really wanting your real estate investing company to do well in 2024, but not just in 2024, in all of the years, no matter what the cycle is doing, up or down, no matter what is happening. So the 3 ways that you want to incorporate into your business and understand the value of to make it successful, not just in 2024, but in all the years to come, is 1, being willing to think outside of the box. Everybody wants to put you in a box. Get outside of that box. When you step back and look at that, you're going to see tremendous opportunity there that you didn't see before. The second way is to not just always be growth minded, but sometimes be accountability and expense minded. When we reduce expenses, oftentimes we can save so much more money that now we have an income boost. Even when we don't see it on the other side, we will see it right off the top. And the third way is collaboration. Collaboration is so key because we want to recognize that our businesses, we want to be long-term. We don't want them to be short-term. And collaboration is how we do that. So until next time, I look forward to seeing you and helping your business grow, not just in 2024, but in many, many years to come. Until the next time, click below, reach out, subscribe to the channel, make sure that you're getting all of our videos and feedback so that you too can stay at the top, but also get all kinds of creative outside of the box thinking and ways to maneuver in your business and keep it going strong.